Lots of big things going on over there at
Yeah,
Spearcrest Digital, man. I see a new podcast being launched by
yeah.
Design Podcast. So tell me a little about that, man. How did that all come to be?
It's been in the works for a while. We've discussed a podcast internally as a team, and my guys have been pushing me. They're like, "Bro, we need to get more content out. We need to start figuring out ways to do that." So I don't know if you saw, like, we've been kind of making like some funny videos. Like we got a dude that dresses up in a chicken suit, and uh, and I'm like, "All right, look, man, we got time to make these videos. We got time for a podcast." And so I wanted to do mine a little bit differently. I wanted to, there's a lot of podcasts in the junk removal world and marketing world that talk about junk removal or they talk about marketing, and they're kind of, segued into those two niches, which is cool. There's a lot of great value out there, but I want to do something different. And I've got access to a lot of really cool people. And so some of them in the junk removal and dumpster rental industry, and then some of them in the sports world or comedy world, or and I thought that I would leverage those connections and bring them on and have good conversations. So we've got some. We just had a really good interview that we did with Daniel Stanton, who owns Helper Dumpster Rental. Daniel he's 32 years old. He found out he had a pretty aggressive cancer and started fasting. And he didn't eat for 46 days. The man lost
Wow.
82 pounds, and on the show he reveals that he's now cancer free. Uh, and he's only known for like 6 months. And so, um, we'll have Mrs. Kentucky is coming on. We've got a former NBA coach, NBA player coming on. We've got a big comedian who had a show on CMT. He'll be coming on. So like just a varying number of people that don't necessarily have to do with junk removal, but could bring value to business or entertainment. And hopefully that people listening will be able to pick something up that they can learn and implement in their lives or in their business. That's really the goal with that.
Hell yeah. And I got to ask this, man. So, as far as SEO and podcasts, how does that all flow all in together?
That's a good question. So, podcasts allow you to do a number of different things. One of the best backlinks that I ever got for the digital marketing agency was when I did Andy Wine's podcast. I think it is. I'm trying to think of what it is. He's a junk removal guy in Wisconsin. I'm trying to think of the name of his podcast. Forgive me, since I don't know that right out of the gate, but I'll look it up before the end of the call. You can get really powerful backlinks from podcasts that get a lot of listeners because it's getting a lot of traffic. So going and being on podcasts or linking your own podcast back to your website is powerful, especially if those things are getting traffic. The other thing is you can actually take the podcast transcript and say you have a guest on like me, for example, or someone else who does junk removal, Matt and JoJo. You can take the transcript of that podcast, pop the video into Chat GPT and say, hey, I need you to pull the transcription off this, and then create a blog and then use that transcription to create a blog. Then you create a blog on your website that links back to, Matt and JoJo or whoever. So now they're getting a backlink and you're getting really unique content on your website through the podcast that you did yourself. And so for us, it's more for like we want to create entertainment. We part of our new, we've got the 5 E's that we're working on. One of those is entertain always, and the podcast is a way for us to do that, to bring entertainment and education to our clients.
Now, is there a certain platform that you use for the podcast that you would recommend to everybody?
We use Buzzsprout. So I was a co-host on a podcast for a veteran nonprofit for a while. Buzzsprout's nice because it will upload to all platforms. We I have a buddy who they do podcast production, right? So he's a videographer. They do video production, podcast production. He's in Lexington, Kentucky. United We Stand. We actually built their website as well. And he kind of recommended like, hey, here's the mics you need. Here's the mixing board you need. And so we buy this stuff, and then I'm like, let's do this for real if we're going to do it. So now we got lights, we got a mixer board, we got like a switching board, we got 2 cameras, we got a guy who's like producing it in the background and flipping cameras back and forth, and we're working on the audio. That's kind of a weird thing, but going back to the question, Buzzsprout allows you to like you can clip in audio in the beginning. So if you go listen to our podcast on like Spotify, every time we upload there, we get the automatic audio, the automatic outro music. You can, if you get sponsors, like somebody's like, hey, I want to pay you 10 grand a month to be a sponsor on your show, we can do that automatically through Buzzsprout. So it makes it really nice.
Very nice, man.